Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island. The team begins mapping Aladdin's cave below the money pit area. This week on The Curse of Oak Island, the team began mapping the Aladdin's cave cavern near the garden shaft to see if it is a secret chamber holding ancient treasure. The Fellowship of the Dig has pivoted its main focus to investigating Aladdin's cave, a mysterious void or cavern lying at about 160 feet under the surface in the money pit area. The guys had two primary questions. Is there an entrance or exit to the void? And is it a human-made chamber? They began by popping a high-definition camera down a newly drilled borehole, giving a pretty good view through the murky water of a large open cavity. However, there was no sign of treasure or human-made structures. Marty Lagina pointed out there was a lot of silt obscuring the view of the bottom, and that it was feasible that treasure might be placed there. The next step was to draw it in sonar expert Blaine Kerr, who placed the sonar detector down the borehole to create a 3D cavern map. Sonar detects entrance into Aladdin's cave in Oak Island money pit area. Blaine's big takeaway from his mapping process was identifying a possible entrance into the cavern. This was big news as an entry is essential to any secret treasure chamber. The sonar expert also stated the cavern wall may have been carved out of the rock by humans, but he also admitted it could have occurred naturally. Frustratingly, the cavern floor slopes downward at a 30-degree angle, and the sonar detector couldn't see what was at the very bottom. The laws of gravity dictate that anything buried there would have obviously drifted to the bottom, so the guys will need to investigate more. Thankfully, there's a simple enough solution. The team will drill another borehole about 5 or 6 feet away from the first hole, allowing the sonar and the cameras to see right to the bottom. Unfortunately, viewers will have to wait at least a week for that. A large stone structure found buried on Oak Island's Lot 5. Elsewhere on Oak Island, the guys are beginning to suspect that a couple of stone structures found on Lot 5 were used as a staging area in the late 17th or early 18th centuries for some mass project performed in the money pit area. Last week, archaeologist Jamie Kuba performed a magnetometer survey near the circular stone feature on Lot 5, and she had the results last night. Jamie said an even larger stone is buried under the circular feature, meaning there is a massive structure or complex underneath. The archaeologists are also still finding plenty of artifacts dating to the late 17th or early 18th century period. Last night, they found 2 more artifacts from that time, and the objects matched the chemical composition of previous artifacts related to 17th century treasure hunter Sir William Phipps. Phipps was twice tasked with retrieving treasure from the Concepcion, a sunken Spanish galleon laden with loot from the New World. However, the guys suspect Phipps may have squirreled some of this bounty away on Oak Island. On a chilly, mist-laden morning, the team gathered at the edge of the infamous money pit, their breath visible in the crisp air. The sun is still hidden beneath a veil of gray clouds, casts a somber light over Oak Island. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation and a tinge of trepidation as the team prepared for what might be their most significant discovery yet. Rick and Marty Lagina, the stalwart leaders of the Oak Island treasure hunt, stood by the entrance to the newest borehole. Alongside them were geophysicist Dr. Ian Spooner, archaeologist Dr. Laird Niven, and metal detection expert Gary Drayton. Today, their mission was to begin the intricate and perilous task of mapping what they had come to call Aladdin's Cave, an expansive and labyrinthine series of chambers they believed lay hidden beneath the money pit. The previous night's sonar readings had revealed tantalizing glimpses of a vast network of tunnels and caverns stretching deep underground, far beyond anything they had previously imagined. Dubbed Aladdin's Cave for its potential to hold untold riches, the underground complex promised both danger and discovery in equal measure. "All right, everyone," Rick called out, his voice steady but filled with excitement. "We've prepared for this for months. Safety first, and remember, every step we take could bring us closer to the answers we've been seeking." With headlamps blazing and gear in tow, the team descended into the borehole, a narrow, spiraling pathway that seemed to lead straight into the heart of the island. The walls, slick with moisture, glistened in the artificial light, and the air grew colder as they ventured deeper. As they reached a broader chamber, the full scale of their undertaking began to sink in. The cavern stretched out before them, its ceiling arching high above like the nave of an ancient cathedral. Stalactites hung like chandeliers, and the distant sound of dripping water echoed through the space, lending an eerie serenity to the scene. "Look at this place," Gary murmured, sweeping his metal detector across the floor. "It's like stepping into another world." Dr. Spooner and Dr. Niven began setting up their equipment to take precise measurements of the cave's dimensions and layout. They marked key points on the cave walls, creating a grid that would help them map out the labyrinthine structure. "There's something almost poetic about this," Dr. Niven said, his voice tinged with awe. "These caves have been hidden for centuries, and now we're the first to see them." As they worked, the team stumbled upon a series of carved symbols etched into the rock. The symbols, faint and worn by time, hinted at a language long forgotten. Marty, ever the optimist, speculated that they might be directions or clues left by previous explorers. "These markings could be the key to navigating this place," Marty suggested. "We need to document everything meticulously." Rick nodded in agreement. "Let's photograph every inch of these carvings and see if we can decipher them later. This could be a breadcrumb trail leading us to the treasure." Hours turned into days as the team meticulously mapped the cave system. They discovered hidden passages, some barely wide enough to squeeze through, and others that opened into grand halls adorned with natural rock formations that sparkled in their lights. The deeper they ventured, the more they felt the weight of history pressing in around them. One evening, while exploring a particularly narrow tunnel, Gary's metal detector began to beep furiously. The sound echoed off the walls, amplifying the sense of urgency. He carefully brushed away the dirt and debris, revealing a small, ornate chest. "Guys, you might want to see this," Gary called out, his voice echoing through the tunnel. The team gathered around, hearts pounding with excitement. The chest, though small, was intricately decorated with symbols similar to those they had seen earlier. Rick and Marty carefully pried it open, revealing its contents, a collection of gold coins, jewels, and a rolled-up parchment. Dr. Niven carefully unrolled the parchment, revealing a map, ancient and fragile, depicting what appeared to be the very cave system they were exploring. At the center of the map was a symbol that matched one of the carvings they had found earlier. "This map could be the key to finding the main chamber," Dr. Niven said, his voice trembling with excitement. "It's pointing us deeper into the cave." Guided by the newfound map, the team pressed on, their journey taking them through increasingly treacherous terrain. They waded through underground streams, climbed over rocky outcrops, and squeezed through impossibly tight spaces. Each step brought them closer to the heart of Aladdin's cave. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they arrived at a massive sealed door. The door was covered in the same ancient symbols they had seen throughout the cave.